Welcome back to Ask the Attorney. I'm Amy Raumohan along with Kevin Kennedy from the Kennedy Law Firm in Clarksville, and already got lots of calls, got a few more holdings, so we'll get to those.
Just hit them.
All right, we've got Candace here. Hi, Candace.
Hi.
Hi.
How can we help you?
I have a question. I don't live in your state. I live above you all.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, and I have a grandchild that I've had her entire life. She'll be 7. I have de facto status over her as well as joint custody with my daughter.
Okay.
My daughter has issues with substance abuse.
Yes.
She goes in and out of jail a lot. Goes into rehab, walks out. The judges just keep letting her out on shock probation.
Yep.
It's a mess. I don't know how to proceed. The child doesn't know her birth mother.
Yes.
So I don't know how to proceed, whether to...
Well, I'll tell you what I would do if I were in your situation.
Sad situation.
And we hear that. If you are married, I would try for you and your husband to adopt that child while you've got control. And if your daughter had one of the moments that she was being rational and reasonable, she would also recognize that is in the best interest of that child. And so y'all just adopt the child, and that settles some issues where the mother may try to come in and pick up the child and leave the state, and your whole family is in agony. That's plan A. I didn't say plan A would work, but I think there's several things you could talk privately about getting that done. And we do see this problem quite often. And I'm shocked. I was in a rural county probably 6 months ago, and every case that went up, these young looking people, 20, 21, 22, husband and wife both, nice looking, and drugs, and then we've got all these small children. So I believe in a proactive approach. I'd get a lawyer immediately, and I would move. I would try to get that custody situation where you had it absolutely. And thank you for being there to help.
All right, we've got Vernon here. Hi, Vernon.
Yes, Kevin.
Yes.
Yes, I have a claim against the VA for broken jaw and damage to teeth. I'm in a final reconsideration.
Yes.
And in their letter they said if after this 6 months, this last 6 months that they have is up, if you don't hear from us, just consider it denied. And at that point, I can probably do it now, or I can do it then, and that's to get an attorney to be able to take it before a federal judge.
Yes.
That's what I would like to do. The evidence is minimal, but I believe it's enough, and I would like to be able to stand before a federal judge and tell the truth, tell my story, and then if the federal judge rules against me, then so be it.
I heard you. Every man would like to have their day in court when you've been wronged, and the veteran system, I want to encourage you to get a name of who you've been corresponding with, and so that you can talk to them. I don't like this misunderstanding when they say, if you don't hear from us, you go.
I know.
That makes me feel very uncomfortable. I like to have a good understanding. Either they're going to admit it or deny it, have it in writing, give you so many days for the process to make your appeal. So a good understanding keeps down a misunderstanding. I had that with a major corporation today. I went and asked my office administrator, I said, well, it's not clear. And she and I thought about it all day. And I said, tomorrow I will hit this head on, so we want to have a good understanding. I don't want anything that can be interpreted against you or me. Let's at least have the air clear.
And if you're going to get a lawyer to pursue that federal claim, just make sure you keep in mind your appellate time and how long you have to appeal. So.
Thank you for the phone call, sir.
All right, we've got Michael here. Hi, Michael.
Hello.
Hello.
How can we help you tonight?
Okay, I just have a general question. Is it possible to sue a utilities company?
To sue a utilities company?
Yes, absolutely. Remember this old maxim, you can sue anybody, anytime, for anything. Utilities companies are a business. And of course, we've brought cases against utilities companies over the years. It's kind of tricky. You know, like the city of Clarksville, does the city own the utility, or is it a separate entity? And remember, they always have so many skilled lawyers. Sometimes they don't want to tell. So you need to probably go to the Secretary of State and firm that up. Because if you sued the city and the city says, hey, wait a minute, you sued us, we don't really own that Clarksville Department of Electricity. And so then the Clarksville Department of Electricity, hey guys, y'all sued us, but really the city of Clarksville owns this. And so that's a legal maneuver that they can get out and you say, well, that was a bad situation. Learn all you can, as much as you can. That's why you can never ask enough questions. When they used to talk about me, said, Kevin, ask all the questions all the time. And I used to ask this lawyer, and they say, Kevin, you've already asked the question. Why are you asking another lawyer? I said, because I want to make sure I get the same answer. When I get 3 different opinions, I'm not ready to move on that. But when I get 3 opinions that generally say the same thing, we'll move.
Yep. 737+ is the number, 737-7587. Got Gerhardt on to. Hi, Gerhardt.
Hi, I got a question.
Okay.
My uncle, he has pancreatic cancer. He's a diabetic, and my aunt, and she has trouble breathing, and they live in an apartment in Haynes Manor in Murfreesboro. And the landlord, they're trying to throw a lot of the tenants out, saying that they got bad bugs and different type of bugs in their apartment.
Right.
They pay their rent on time and everything, and they want to say they didn't pay their rent on time, and they're valuable customers. Can you help them out? Thank you.
Okay. What you fall under probably is the Tennessee Residential Uniform Landlord and Tenant Act. If you're paying your things like you're supposed to, if you're following everything in your part of the contract, you have it up till that time that lease runs out. If the owners want to discontinue that, they have a right to. But they can't just throw you out for any reason. They can't make up a reason and say, hey guys, we didn't get our rent. And you know, we hear of unscrupulous landlords for whatever reason. But you've got rights under that, and you can advance it. One of the great tools is the Legal Services of Middle Tennessee, and so I like that organization. They help lots of people who don't have resources to go in there, and they'll write letters for them and try to put the brakes on. But believe it or not, you're only good for that period of the lease, and if they choose to stop doing business with you, they have that right.
Yeah, and Legal Aid is great, and I know they have those booklets that they hand out on landlord-tenant law, which are really helpful to kind of know your rights, and whether you're a landlord or a tenant. Yeah,
and I've been in the landlord business myself for 40 years, so I'm always sensitive. You know, if I've got someone that's paying the rent, that's the last guy I want to try to move out, because I want to keep the cash flow going and keep all the people employed that run that part. And so it's unusual when someone wants to try to do that. And remember, they can always call the building and codes if there are problems and say, hey, we've got this bug issue, somebody needs to do something, and that's a public health safety issue.
You know, we've had a lot of people call in the past about statute of limitations issues, and obviously we can't go through and tell you what the statute of limitations is for every type of cause of action, but how important is it for people to investigate and look into that? Because we often have people that call and say, I was in a car accident 5 years ago, I had this medical malpractice thing happen 4 years ago, stuff like that.
Well, Tennessee has a 1-year statute of limitations for personal injury. Now, the state of Kentucky has 2. Well, and you know, in the medical malpractice in Tennessee, we have 1, but they've got a great lobbying group, and so they are required some notices. If you didn't get those notices on the time schedule, then even the 1 year, it's going to create a major problem. It could shut the courtroom doors to you. You know, I want to say this. You know, a lot of people say, well, I'm going to wait around. I've got a year. Well, guess what? I've learned over the years, the lawyers need time to prepare. They need to find out about these witnesses. And if it gets too close, you know what the lawyer's going to say? It's too close. I'm not going to take on the liability. Because the lawyers, we have to have, I don't really know how some people operate in a small operation. Because if you take on major corporations, they got major manpower. It takes major manpower for us to even bring us to an even playing field. You got to have guys that's running research and memos and briefs and answering interrogatories and responding to requests for admissions. I don't see how one guy, he can't really do it effectively. You got to have a team. And then if you're rushed, did you really give it your best work product? Because a lot of this you need to think about because when I respond so quickly, I say, I wish I thought of that.
You may not get that second chance.
Hell, that's exactly right. When I said that, I started saying, hello, come in. Yeah, they ring my bell.
Kevin Kennedy expression.
You know it is the truth. And I did a trial about 2 weeks, one of the biggest trials of my whole career, because it was dealing with a move-away situation. So, meaning this, if you and your husband were into it, and one of you had to move, boy, it's do or die. Then
all right,
you're looking
well,
at me.
we will talk about that in just a second, but we got to take a quick break.